Everyone, all right, here we go. All right, all you got to do is hit the button so you can talk. And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. It is Monday, and we all know what today is, as it should be a national holiday, as we all know. January the 8th is the day the guy from Mississippi was born, Elvis Presley. Influenced the music industry like no one ever has. Good person on top of it. We'll talk about Elvis this morning. That's on the way. I do hope you're feeling well. Make an appointment tonight here, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, however you can reach us, or on our website at ScottyRayReport.com to follow the weather. We will be here to let you know as it happens along the way. We'll be checking all our backup internets, and power is ready to go. We got everything working there in case power goes out. As we'll get into this morning, we're going to do the breakdown of where tornadic activity is most likely, where the most rain is going to come in. We could see anywhere from 3 to 6 inches tonight. It's a bunch. A lot of wind, very dangerous storm. We're going to do the breakdown of all of that coming up here in just a moment. So don't miss out on that. And we'll go back over it during the morning show as well for those who didn't quite get up this early. Good morning. We've got some escaped, we'll call them escaped convicts. They're juveniles, dangerous with guns, out to our west, Hinds County, Mississippi. We'll talk about that also here in just a moment. Let's get a good word. Let's get rid of all the bad and bring in something good that we all know about. Let's go to Collinsville First Baptist.
At this point, we're a couple of weeks past Christmas, but I bet you're still playing with some of those good gifts you got. My 12-year-old son finally has gotten his new compound bow all set up, and he and I are both looking forward to getting him a chance at a deer. And my 9-year-old son, he has really been enjoying his new drone, and to be quite honest, so have I. I think I like it almost as much as he does. I mean, both boys got some really cool gifts. Well, as we are thinking about good gifts, in Ephesians 4, the Holy Spirit through Apostle Paul declares that Christ came giving gifts to us. And what are those gifts? Well, verse 11 lists them. He gave the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, and the shepherd teachers. Have you ever thought about those roles being gifts to the church? Those are 4 different gifts and 4 different roles. The apostles are the ones who walked with Jesus and saw the resurrected Christ, including Paul. They were tasked with the founding of the church and speaking for God in the New Covenant and through the New Testament. Prophets are those who spoke for God under the Old Covenant and through the Old Testament. Now, it's important to say that these apostles and prophets are no longer with us in person, but are forever with us in Holy Scripture. Now, evangelists, they are those who are especially gifted by God to share Jesus with the unsaved and to plant churches. These men are still among us. Now, some have itinerant preaching ministries, preaching at many different churches and in many different places throughout the year. But other evangelists are what we typically call missionaries, taking the gospel cross-culturally and usually internationally. And then finally, there are the shepherd teachers or pastor teachers. These aren't 2 different roles. To be a shepherd, which is another way to say pastor, is to be a teacher. You see, you can't pastor without teaching, right? These are the men who are among us who lead and feed and watch over the local flock of Christians, which we typically call a church. So all 4 of these roles, apostles, prophets, evangelists, and shepherd teachers, are gifts to Christians from Christ Jesus. And so may you receive them as a gift and let them benefit you to the fullness Christ intended. Does your pastor feel like you think he's a gift? Well, today would be a good day to let him know that. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And I hope you enjoyed that. You can join them for services coming up this Wednesday night. As we start today, if you're traveling south on I-59 outside of Pachuta, mile marker, it's in between 127 and 126. About the halfway point, we have an 18-wheeler that is overturned this morning. Now, the lane of traffic is not so much blocked, but they will be blocking one lane of travel once the wrecker gets there to flip it back up. It's off into the wood line there on the edge of the road. There is debris in the area, so keep that southbound lane just north of the 126. That would be in between 127 and 126 as you head south out of Pachuta. So y'all be careful. Keep that in mind in your travels this morning. I think the driver is going to be okay, the last I heard. So let's keep fingers crossed on that. As we wake up this morning, 168 people lost their lives in Japan. Earthquake that hit there. There are still without power, thousands without power and water at this point as they try to rebuild and get things going. Keep them in your thoughts as well. Well, as things get underway, as we all know, the next election will be a big one. What will happen? We're starting to see some unity there. Jim Jordan is endorsing an Ohio senator who is running. Bernie Moreno. It's getting messy up there. Trump picked him. He's backing him. Shows that they are showing signs of unity of going with his choices. We'll see what becomes of that as it gets closer and closer. Barbie beat out Taylor Swift. Now, I didn't watch any of this. It's not my cup of tea, but they had those Golden Globe Awards on. Apparently, it took up everything. It's fashion and all of that. But Barbie took Taylor Swift down. But she did stand up, from what I understand, and congratulate. That is a good way to. It does say a lot. It's your character. And I think somebody cracked a joke that was not funny about Taylor, and she gave him the "I'm going to write a song about you later" look. Don't mess with that girl. She will write a song about you. And why people make up rumors, I will never know, because it's obvious this was a mistake. A tabloid had hinted that maybe Taylor didn't like men. She's dated half of and wrote a song about every one of them. We're going to stamp that as not true, and why would you do that? Her fans get real touchy over that. Don't mess with her. She is really probably the biggest thing, if you get down to this, since Elvis. They have people that in the news that are just dedicated to following her all day long because, well, she changes economies wherever she goes with her tours. She's big. Like it or not, she is big. This is horrifying that this could happen in America. But as you and I sit here, whether you're in your car or your vehicle this morning or in your warm home watching this, what is scary to believe, there are people that are being held captive, that have been kidnapped against their will right now. We don't know where they are or what's going on. Texas has found one. A woman's been held captive for 5 years. She's been drugged, raped numerous times. She was being held captive in a garage. She's free now. Can you imagine the psychological effects that will have for the rest of your life? But thank God she's been found. We do hope that they found a place to put. 52-year-old guy, as we go to Daily Mail, let me show you a picture of the guy. That is the face of someone that will kidnap you. Average-looking old boy, isn't he?
Yes, not somebody that's got on a kidnapper on his forehead.
Yeah, you wouldn't think. That just looks like somebody you'd run into a convenience store. My point is, bad people blend in. Be careful in everything you do in life. Your wife, your children, even yourself, if you're a male, whichever the case is, watch those situations around you. This would be horrifying. As we look at this is just a number of airplane issues we've had lately. Alaska Airlines took off. They make it to 16,000 feet and they lose the door. No, I'm talking about ripped off, not the cabin lost pressure. No, they were able to land. Everybody is okay. But do y'all realize what could have happened here? This is not good there. They're going to be grounding a bunch of planes. I think they've grounded their entire fleet until this is worked out and found out what is wrong with that. Again, this is just, here's a picture of what it looks like after they got on the ground. Look at that. The whole door missing there. I want to say that's a Boeing plane, if I am not mistaken. It is a Boeing 737-9 MAX. Kind of gives you the heebie-jeebies, willies about getting on a plane right now until all this is worked out. What's going on? Are we not inspecting planes like we once did? Or is it check them from home? There's some jobs you can't do from home. That's one of them. I was joking about that, of course, but Lord have mercy. The Defense Secretary, his name is Lloyd Austin. He disappeared for about 5 days. He was in the hospital, just kind of didn't tell anybody at the White House. Y'all heard about this? Now, he was sick, but you would think that the Secretary of Defense would call somebody and say, hey, you're coming in today. Trump says you're out of there. That's what he would do.
You need somebody to fill in for you.
Yeah, somebody should be called immediately. That's too big a job. We doubt anything will happen with that. Predictions. Have y'all seen any of these predictions for the year 24? Most of this is just, they're guessing. They're saying stock markets will do fine. Look at most of these. This is somebody from, who are they from? Let me see here. J.P. Morgan. They're stockhold brokers, and they think they know everything. They say that the U.S. dollar remains stable for the rest of the year. Of course, they're not going to tell you that it's going to go bad. Not going to. They do predict that Biden will bail out of the presidential election. If he does, it won't be because he decided to. Just keep that in mind. But I hadn't seen any good predictions. All of this is anybody could guess what they put on there. Extra UFOs. Miami is denying it as they were searching for something the other night. But, well, folks on the internet take things to an extreme as wild conspiracies are going around Miami at this point. Odds are there was no little green men from outer space there. I don't know who they were looking for, but it was not what they think. It's amazing how a little bit of the truth can be stretched far and wide, isn't it? Let's see. The Wyoming Game and Fish is being sued by a young lady. She won this big contest. She's a reality TV star. They put a bunch of charges on her for supposedly shooting illegal, violating state laws. She says they were picking on her. Maybe y'all know her. Let me show you a picture of what she looks like. Here she is. Again, this is from Daily Mail. That's who she is. An attractive young lady there. But she won a reality TV show, and she does her own thing. Her name is, what is her name? Melanie Myrtle Peterson. 57. Boy, she's holding together good at 57, isn't she? My, oh, my. But they probably got, I don't know what really went on behind the scenes. This will go to court. She's basically saying they're picking on her for people that work for her that broke the law and coming after her. We'll see. It'll be more about this. I'm not even going to touch that one, Odie. As we often do as we watch things across America, lines are so skewed, and I don't understand it of right and wrong, right, wrong. There is no, well, I can't really tell what the answer is. If someone is below age, you don't date them, especially if you're a preacher. I don't get it. And y'all tell me, am I right? A man of the cloth should be held to a higher standard, just as deacons are in churches. You're supposed to do a little bit better, act a little bit better. Do we all sin? Absolutely. But when you take a certain position in life, you're here. All eyes look to you.
Kind of like the Pope.
Yeah, the Pope.
I'd be held to a higher standard.
He should be held to a lot. But, role models. We used to have those in America. I'm not sure we've got many. Well, I would say Denzel Washington is a role model.
Yeah.
I mean, he's thumbs up. Morgan Freeman, I agree with both of those guys. The Rock is not bad. He seems to, he's done some things in the past, but overall he's a pretty good guy. But there's some that people look up to that, well, they shouldn't. We'll be right back with this weather. We got a lot of weather to talk about here in just a moment. We'll be right back with that as we begin this day.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our communities efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
Welcome back. Let's start out by going to radar to let you know exactly what's going on. This is the way it looks currently. Here we are. What is all of this brown sand-looking color? This is wind advisories that's in effect until 6 p.m. as you'll see here. That's going to be tomorrow, 6 p.m. tomorrow. Let me be clear about that. Now, let's start out with what this has with severe weather of what is going to happen today and the different levels that we have. Basically, now this is going to look a little bit different. This is updated every 10 minutes as we do this. The National Weather Service has this line about right here. Mine is showing a little bit further north. What I'm saying is anything south of I-20 is going to be a level 2. Everything north of there is a level 1. Now, that does not mean that anything can't happen up here in Kemper County, northern Lauderdale, northern Newton, into Philadelphia, into Winston, and Macon, Mississippi areas, and Kosciuszko. We can. The risk is just greater as we look at this. This is going to go from I-20, just follow it directly across. Let's just call it Forest. It's real close to there. Anything south of Forest, Mississippi, south of Meridian, south of York, Alabama, and Demopolis is a level 2, all the way to Ellisville, Mississippi, to a Waynesboro line over to Monticello, Mississippi, to Brookhaven. You see that line there. Now, let me zoom in on this and just show you a little bit better on the locations of what we're going to be looking at here. This will pick up in Lauderdale County, that level 2, right here around Walmart on Highway 19. Right there is where that is. Meridian High School over to Lamar, taking in all of Marion out to Rainbow Lakes over to Tumsuba. As you'll see here south, everything south of that point is in this. As we get here to Wayne Academy, that's kind of the line right there at Waynesboro of the level 2. Jones Junior College is a level 2. South of there is a level 3, and this goes all the way to the Mississippi Gulf Coast here. We are expecting worse weather here than we are here, but in either one of these places, you can have tornadic activity tonight. Now, we're expecting anywhere in this range here of 3 to 6 inches of rain. That's a lot of rain. What does that mean? Flash flooding. It's horrible. We'll look at what the National Weather Service has for us here in just a moment. But let's change this chart as we talk about the probability of tornadic activity tonight. Let's go here and take a look at our severe weather and turn this off and look at our tornado activity for today, where it could happen. Now, as with all the different colors, let me turn on this Legends where you can see green is light, that's medium, and then that's a bigger risk. We don't have any red, but we have a level 3. Let's turn that back off here. Here's what we have. Clark County falling into a level 1. Doesn't mean that we can't have a tornado there, but it sure picks up here just south around Heidelberg, Taylorsville. All of this into right along here at Waynesboro across to Ellisville. And then showing that this area from Ellisville south all the way to Biloxi is our biggest chance of tornadic activity tonight. That's your 3 layers of what we've got going on. If you're watching us from Baton Rouge, New Iberia, Lafayette, all the way over to Panama City, Florida, you are in this area of it could be really bad. In this area here, and I do not discount this as not having any. Odie has seen it as I have. They'll start here and build and come across. It can develop here and move northeasterly into our areas. There's no rhyme or reason saying that this isn't going to happen in our area. We're going to have some very tough weather there, along with heavy winds tonight. We will be here to walk you all the way through this. But if you're in the state of Mississippi, West Alabama, and joining us here on this west side here on the state, you need to pay attention. We will be here to walk you through this. We'll have extra folks helping tonight, I think, and going through all of this, giving you the absolute latest that we will have on the weather. And let's get into what the National Weather Service has to tell us.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we go back to those record highs and lows, 19, it was 77 degrees. Back in 1942, it was a cold 10 degrees today. The outlook for today, as we look here, looks to be 57 toward Meridian, cooler in Philadelphia at 54, and even 53 at State. And we'll keep that same 52 degrees all the way down toward Natchez till it reaches about 54. On the edge of Alabama, 57 in Demopolis, Tuscaloosa, a tad cooler, and, well, about 4 degrees difference in Birmingham than it will be in Meridian. As we come across here, here's our timeline. 9 p.m. until 3 a.m. I didn't want to hear that, did y'all? No, we certainly didn't. That's when we're all trying to get into bed and, well, rest up for the following day. But we need to be weather alert during this time. Anything west of Jackson will run through about 11 p.m. So that tells us about 8:30. Start paying attention as this comes across. Hopefully this will be quick, gone, and won't be in our hair very long. This will, again, we've got several hours before all of this develops. As we know, it changes constantly as it approaches. So we'll be on top of this, keeping you up to date as best we can throughout the day. Now, this is what we're looking at here when it comes to flash flooding. As you'll see, I mentioned here a lot of rain, 3 to 6 inches right through here. Meridian, southern Kemper County, and a little bit in Neshoba County up there by House will be included in this. All these at Jasper County, y'all be ready. It's going to float a boat tonight. Now, this is still 1 to 3 inches through here. As we come across, look at these winds that we've got. We're at a level 2 with this. Sustained winds of 20 to 30 with gusts of anywhere from 35 to 50, which means lawn furniture, garbage cans, and anything that isn't tied down is going to get blown around in your yard. Y'all be careful. As we look at this, here's the edge of Alabama, that big threat here. 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. is what they're pushing as it goes into Bama, if you're watching from that side of the state line. Here's what we've got. Cooler weather on the way as we'll see this cool front moving in. And we do have another chance of severe weather later this week. So we're going to have 2 rounds of this tonight and then toward Thursday, Friday as it gets more developed as it moves in. So be ready. We got 2 of these this week. All right, here's our 7-day outlook is what we've got today. 59 today, 80% chance of rain, and this will move in after 3 o'clock. Be prepared for that as we get ready tomorrow. Rain will back down to 50% chance, and by Wednesday it's out. We'll see 33 on Wednesday night. Tomorrow night, look at that 30. I almost overlooked that. But as we get into here, right here, Friday, this is that next chance of severe weather. Mark it down. Be prepared for this also. And we'll follow that all week long as well. It's already at a level 2 for the entire area. So this could be a little worse than what's coming tonight for the immediate area in East Mississippi. As we move to the weekend, 49 for a high. That's going to be a cold day with a low of 26. That's 7 all the way through January the 22nd as we go down through. Look at this, 41 for a high on the 16th. Folks, that sounds like winter to me. Did anybody see that low? Do I see teens? 17 degrees at night? Oh, call a plumber. Go ahead and give him an extra 100 and have him on speed dial for your house. It's going to be some frozen pipes that night as we look at this. It'll start to warm up a little bit there. The next night we'll make it to 26, but a high of only 45. Have mercy, have mercy. Look at this. Overnight lows, we will be below freezing for about 5 days there. My, cold weather on the way. What is happening with the fishing forecast for today? It looks like your best time starts at 8 o'clock till about 10 o'clock. And again, it won't rain until about 3, so you're good. That's not bad at all. As we look here, northeast wind's going to be 5 to 10, increasing 15 to 20. Wind gust of 35 miles an hour, so not the greatest time for that. Now, what's happening with the hunting calendar if you're going deer hunting? We'll see here. Collinsville Meats brings you this. Around 8:20 this morning to 10:20 is your best times to be deer hunting. Your second major time is going to be around 9 o'clock tonight. It'll be way after dark. So take advantage of this early morning hunt till about lunch would be your best bet there. We are getting ready for the morning show. I got Odie standing by. He's got his blue on this morning. His wife has dressed him. I can tell it. She's done fixed his hair. She told him, go be pretty for me.
That's right. Make me look good.
She'd make him look good. Make her look good. Yeah. All that's on the way next here. So I'll put a smile on. We'll be right back in less than 5 minutes as the morning show gets underway. Remember, follow the Scotty Ray Report for your latest weather information. We'll be here behind the scenes and on the scene.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.